All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another YouTube video. And today, let's get started. I want to make this video about some key things that we have coming up here in this event. Um, we're getting ready to move on, I feel like, from the Gen Z side of things. Or I want to get into those. Sorry, not move on from them. We're going to move on from, like, that whole political stuff and all that. I mean, I guess they'll still be here in a sense, but I want to talk about why. To be honest, some of y'all may hate me, some of y'all might not, some of y'all will love me for saying this, some of y'all want to kill me. And it's just how it is. But I don't like Gen Z. And I think we are. And I kind of hate the concept of generations to begin with because you're generalizing a whole mass group of people, and I think it's stupid to do that. But honestly, Gen Z and boomers are probably the worst. Like, they're probably the worst because you got the boomers who are too old to even want to change and want anything good to happen. They're so used to seeing the negative side of the world that they just expect the worst and they hate everybody else. And then you got the fucking millennials who just cry a lot. And then you have the Gen Z crowd, which is, for lack of a better term, kind of all those things combined and then its own thing at the same time. Like, one thing I hate about my generation, the first thing I hate about Gen Z, is just how dumb everybody is. And now I kind of blame this on social media and the fall of society as a whole, because I think society has fallen a lot. Society now no longer has values. And I'm not saying that like some stupid boomer that goes, oh, we need to bring back the church days. And no, fuck that shit. Just because we don't have those old school values is not a bad thing. Because when you bring new school values into the thing, it's fine. Problem is, we replace old school values with just no values at all. I mean, if you want to date someone that has some actual fucking values, you're looked at as weird. Or like, if you want to, you know what I mean? Like, that's just one thing I hate about my generation is like, if you don't, just how stupid everybody is. Like, if you don't do, like, everybody has to do the same thing, which is so stupid, first of all. That is the dumbest thing ever. Let me give you, if Papa Terrence can ever give you some advice here, or I'm sorry, Papa Talos, we'll keep the YouTube channel name. Papa Talos, if Papa Talos can give you some advice here, it is, if you ever see a majority of people doing one thing, I don't care if it's a trend on social media, your dumb TikToks, fuck these TikToks, I ain't never gonna use no TikTok. And you think I'm like, what am I, fucking 10? Nah, I'm probably going a little too mean there. But in all seriousness, no, dude, like, if you ever see everybody doing something, it's probably stupid. That's just a fact about life. If you see everybody hopping on a trend or talking about something, it's probably really stupid. You probably shouldn't even really bother. And if you're watching this video, you probably agree with me because honestly, YouTube wouldn't promote this type of video to you. So you'd have to go looking for it because first of all, YouTube wants to promote, and I think this is also a Gen Z thing. I think Gen Z did this, but let's stay on topic here with the stupid part. You see Gen Z do a lot of dumb shit just to get clout as well. Like, we're not just stupid in ways where it's like, oh, Gen Z is just stupid. Like, like we're just not smart at all. They don't know what 2 plus 2 is. No, actually, most Gen Zers are probably very academically smart. It's just the life skills I've seen in this generation are just so dumb. Like, people like will do anything for any sort of attention on social media. And I was watching shout out to Jamari. I mean, you guys have probably heard of Jamari. Like, let's be honest, he's one of the biggest YouTubers. But if you haven't, look up his channel. Pretty dope dude. Makes a lot of good content. So if you haven't heard of his channel, I'd recommend looking him up. Named Jamari. I was watching like this one video, his recent video about how some girl on OnlyFans, was talking crap about a cancer patient. I don't remember the exact whole story, but at some point, because of her streams, her dad lost her job. And she's sitting there like filming all of that. Like her dad telling her that he lost his job because of her. And like, why are you filming that? Like, that's crazy and messed up and stupid. And I know you might think, well, that's just one person or that's a very low percent of Gen Z. No, that's almost all of Gen Z. Gen Z is so focused on being so dumb to be popular that it's not even like, it's just cringy. Like, I guess that's the perfect word to describe Gen Z. since it was a Gen Z word, it describes us anyways. So fucking cringe. And if you can't tell what Gen Z is, I should have said this earlier at the beginning of the video. Wow, it's horribly scripted. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is not scripted at all. This is actually just off the cuff, so that's why it's a bit all over the place. But Gen Z is anyone from what I understand, 1999 to 2012, 13. So most likely, if you're 20, I would say 15 to 23, you were part of Gen Z. So anyway, so that's the first thing. I just hate how like dumb everybody's become on life. Like, you have to do this, you have to look the part, you have to act like everybody else, you have to go out and drink and smoke all the time and you have to do this, and you have to be this, and it's just like nobody understands life anymore in this generation, I've noticed. But I don't know if it's because we're younger and like I just think differently. And then maybe Gen Z will automatically just start like understanding you don't have to look the part and be all this and do all that. Maybe they will like when they're older and I'm older with them. Maybe I'm just ahead of the game. But I don't like to think of myself in such a way. I like to think that I think it's your experiences. I feel like if you grow up to be a sheltered little bitch, and we'll get into that pretty soon. I feel like if you grew up to be a sheltered little bitch, and what I mean by that is you never really had to go hungry, like not just sheltered in the sense, oh no, someone talks crap about your political beliefs, but I mean like, have you ever had to go hungry? Have you ever had to struggle, I guess? And I don't mean struggle like as in, I struggle on homework or like, my phone was taken away. I mean, actually, have you had to struggle with life and circumstances? Because I feel like if you have had to do that, you tend to be a bit smarter than everybody else in this generation, I've noticed. But that's neither here or there. I can't really objectively prove that. But after all, some people that also go through struggles will then make wrong choices and not learn from those struggles. So, but I've just noticed Gen Z is so dumb. And it's kind of funny because academically, we're probably one of the most like involved in terms of like going to school and doing all these things. Yet a lot of Gen Zers would say they don't want to go to school, yet they go anyway because you want to know why? Because it's what everybody else is doing. So I don't know. So there's that. Not only that, but I hate how I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate how pussy Gen Z has become. When I was a kid, we started off was not being as much pussies to everything. And you can hate that I say that, but I'm tired of that shit. I'm just getting tired of this safe space. Everybody needs a little safe space. Everybody needs, to be so PC, and everybody needs to be so fucking, nice all the time. There can't be anything bad happening. And Now that shit's gotta go. That's making a very weak individuals that don't I think that they should be able to just tell everybody else what to do, and in the moment they don't get their way, they pout and cry like little bitches all day. And it's sad because it's not even just a Gen Z thing anymore. It's something that's caught on to all the other generations. Maybe they've always been like that too. I was probably just obviously not around to see it. But as far as I know, this is something that started, I feel like, with the younger crowd, and then the older crowd just caught on to it like it was some sort of epidemic. I probably shouldn't say epidemic in these times. I feel like someone will get mad at that. I mean, it used to not be that way. I used to be able to say, just say whatever the fuck you want, and if everyone got mad at it, they got mad at it. Now it's like if someone gets mad at something that you did, you could literally get arrested just for them being mad. Like, you don't even have to break the law. Also, another thing is, just like, again, the sensitivity, PC, correct. Like, look at YouTube now, and look at YouTube back in, like, 2010. There's a clear difference on, like, how everything is made. You literally can't even say coronavirus. All right, come on now. Why not? Why not? Like, really? Are we really we have to be that PC? Like, it's something that's going on in the world. Why can't you say it? You know what I mean? Without your video getting threatened to not be monetized and all this stuff. But anyway, that's what Gen Z kind of started. That whole fucking... Because, we were kids and we got on the internet. And these kids... back in like 2014, 2013. I didn't get on the internet. I was on the internet until about 2017, around there. Like, that's when I was really on the internet. Otherwise, I had internet in my household, but I didn't really have a cell phone, and I didn't have a computer. I was kind of an Xbox, but I didn't really play online games, so I didn't have online. And back then, my parents didn't really use the internet much either. Like, I mean, honestly, up until I was like 17, 18, there was like no reason for me to really be on the internet. I was just not occupied with it. I didn't really give a shit about social media. Still don't. Unless you count YouTube. But otherwise, there's just like really no reason for me to be on the internet from growing up until the end of high school, essentially. Because I don't really care about Instagram. I didn't care about Snapchat. I didn't really care about Facebook. I didn't, like, it's never really agreed with me. You know what I mean? It just never was my thing. And then when I was like 17 to 21, I kind of used it, and I would use it enough. And then nowadays, I deleted it all because I don't see the point in it anymore. It's not really interesting. Like, oh, I'm uploading photos of myself, and it's like kind of very narcissistic if you think about it. Like, in a sense, it's not narcissistic because people don't know that they're being narcissistic, but it's like, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I don't give a shit what my friends post on Instagram. That's I realized that that's when I deleted it all again, because I was like, I really don't care what so-and-so posts on Instagram. Like, I don't. I'm sorry, but like, you can tell me about your day if you really want to. Like, I mean, if you're like actually my friend and like you want me to, you know what I mean? Like, but I guess the guideline, the thing that you, and what I hear in defense to that is, but it's supposed to be social and for you to get to know new people, but that's not really what it is. Social media is just about clout nowadays, and you can argue with me that all you want, but I'm being serious. Who in the fuck gives a fuck about what you're doing? Nobody. I hate to break that reality to you, but I just don't. Maybe it is just a me thing. So maybe it's not reality. Maybe it's just my reality, which is kind of funny because if there's a reality, wouldn't there just be an objective reality where we're not even gonna get into that. That's too much metaphysical nonsense. But you know what I mean. We're not going full blown fucking QAnon here. But anyway, we'll get into that in a second. But again, just I think also social media has a lot to do with the pussification of Gen Z. And I said pussification. It's kind of a word I think I made up, but at the same time, someone else probably made it up before I did even. But the pussification of Gen Z is just so annoying, and I think it was started on social media when we were kids, all getting on social media, and we'd see things that would offend us, or our parents would see us looking at something that would offend them and say, I don't want my kid to see that. And then, and now it's just like, oh, well, instead of parents doing their jobs as parents and watching kids and making sure that they are only seeing things that you think are appropriate for them to see, and that varies from parent to parent, obviously, hence why it should not be this way, where it's like, if you're not 18, you can't watch this video. It should be this way. If your parent is okay with you watching a rated R movie, who gives a shit? That's how it is in real movie theaters. If you can go in with a parent at any time. So it's like, then who gives a shit online? Why don't we just make it, if you actually be a parent and teach your kid that, there are things that maybe you shouldn't be looking up online. But at the end of the day, like, honestly, kids aren't as innocent and dumb anymore as people think. They don't just sit around and do nothing. They have the internet. They probably know what weed is and all this shit by like 9 years old in this day and age. Whereas me personally, I didn't even know what alcohol was really until I was like 13. And even then I had a vague idea of what alcohol was actually capable of. I didn't drink until I was 15. Oh, 15, 14. And I didn't even really drink. But either way, it's like I didn't even have a drink until I was pretty much into my sophomore year of high school. But kids these days are drinking at fucking 13. I guess they always have been, but I mean, I'm talking like that's just kind of the norm now, is to party in middle school. So it's like, all right. When I was in middle school, I remember like days where like I'd be the only stoner. I was probably the only stoner I knew back in middle school besides like 3 other kids. Some of them weren't even in my grade. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, and I mean true stoner. Like, I could smoke a blunt by myself. And like at like 13, 14, when I first started smoking, I could smoke a blunt by myself, and there was no like, oh, I'm tapping out, coughing like a bitch. Nah. I could just smoke. So I was probably like one of the only kids that was capable of doing that. But also, I didn't like let it be this thing where I'm gonna just do crazy shit all the time. You know what I mean? I don't. And that's because I probably wasn't on social media. So, AKA, I didn't have this narcissistic ego that I want people to always think that I'm this awesome individual who's living this great, fantastic life that's better than everybody else's, or somehow like this extravagant life. Like, you know, I get it. You know, people like to post pictures of them traveling and stuff, but no one gives a shit. Only your closest friends are going to give a shit about you being in Florida when you're from Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like, no one is really going to give a shit. All these likes and shit that you get, they don't really mean jack shit. And also, all this time people spend on social media, I could just make a whole social media rant as is. That's kind of what half of this video has been about. But EK, Gen Z, because of social media and its narcissistic point of view, that, and you can argue that with me all you want, but it's become such a narcissistic thing to have, in my opinion, because you can even say nobody cares about me posting this video, but I guarantee you there will be at least 5 comments that say otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, someone will have, whether they agree or disagree, someone will have like probably a 5-paragraph fucking essay about why they agree and why they don't agree. So, you know, YouTube is a little different, in my honest opinion. But the Snapchats, that shit is stupid. All right, Snapchat is gay. I don't even know why Snapchat is even a thing anymore. That should be for like 5-year-olds, dude. Shit is gay. Actually, probably shouldn't even say that, because Gen Z is so much little pussies that if I say that's gay, they'll be like, you're homophobic. And it's like, again, you know, it's like saying the word retarded nowadays. I'm offended. I have a brother that's retarded. Like, it's like, oh, so you can call him retarded? I don't ever call mentally handicapped people retarded. I call them mentally handicapped. Because when we were growing up, there was a difference. I know in the dictionary, but you see, that's the thing. Everything had to become so PC and politically correct. So people go like, well, in the dictionary. And it's like, who the fuck gives a fuck about that dumbass dictionary? Y'all use slang words all the fucking time. So don't quote me with this, in the dictionary. Well, in the dictionary, simp has nothing to do with a man who is simping for a woman, all right? In a dictionary, you're just a retard, all right? You know, but y'all motherfuckers use slang words all the fucking time. And then but when someone says something y'all don't like, y'all want to go like, oh, in the dictionary, it actually means this, so you shouldn't. Shut the fuck up. Like, just shut the fuck up. Gen Z is just some little pussies. And again, this is people that are 15 to 23, so I'm sorry if you fall into that category. I'm 21, so obviously I'm in that category. But I just don't agree with how this generation wants to get things done. You know what I mean? It seems so ass backwards and stunted. And, you know, some people will disagree with that. They'll say we're moving into a better cultured society and stuff. No, I don't think we are. I think we're moving into a bunch of pussies who can't stand something that they don't like to hear and think that life just is all about fun and games. Because I've noticed with Gen Z, growing up is not a thing. Everybody just wants to party all day, have clout all the time. Yet we're the best. We could be the best generation easily, because we're the generation that can show that we don't need to work all the time to have a life. Like, we could just do things we like and have a life. But instead we choose to squander that opportunity on petty fucking social media things. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I just remembered when I was a kid, you could say that was gay, and people clearly knew the difference between you being homophobic and you. And I get it, though. I'm not going to say I don't get why people would get mad at that, because I guess you are implying that there is some sort of negative thing to be gay. But I don't know. When I was a kid, even gay people knew that's not what that meant. It's like saying, how should I put it? I don't even want to get into it. But also the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and Gen Z is so concerned about race, so I'm getting tired of that shit too. Like, Gen Z is just so much pussies. Like, Gen Z would be telling you that, oh, Black Lives this and Black Lives that. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I'm a black man, and I'm already getting tired of hearing about all this shit every fucking day. Because at the end of the day, y'all are treating black people like we're fucking perfect. Like, we're God's gift to the fucking earth. And that's dangerous. You should never be promoting any type of race of people like you're God's gift to the earth. Have we learned nothing what that can turn into? All right? Have we not, it's funny that y'all hate the whites so fucking much. Yet y'all are about to become the whites, mark my words. And I'm saying that for all you Black Lives people, because I know what Black Lives Matter will turn into. It will turn into Black Lives Matter more. I support the cause, but I don't support these fucking lunatics that essentially are running around doing crazy fucking shit to try to spread the message. And you might think that's how we have to do it. No, it's not. There are plenty of other ways to get things done. First of all, I think there's so many problems within the Black community itself that Gen Z just doesn't actually even have a fucking fundamental grasp on. But that's the thing. It's trendy to be like, Black Lives Matter, Black History Month, yeah, because we're in Black History Month right now. So, you know what I mean? It's trendy to do all that shit. But here's the deal. Y'all gotta realize, race isn't even real. And I'll just leave it at that. Because if you are smart, you will know this. If you're not, if you're retarded, yeah, I'll say it, you're retarded. If you're retarded, you don't know this. You think it's real and you think all this shit is actually a fucking... that's just my belief. I shouldn't even say that. That's wrong of me to say. That's actually wrong of me to say. That's just my belief. But I don't believe race is real. I think race was socially engineered. There's no real scientific evidence besides just someone saying you're an African American, you're a white man, you're a Mexican, I guess European. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm racist. I should have said white man. I should have said European descent. Because he could be white plus fucking black plus Asian plus everything else in the fucking universe. So, I'm sorry. How dare I call him white man or black man or Mexican man? Because, despite that being the actual race names and colors and all that stuff, you're not allowed to actually say it for some weird reason. I don't know. You see what I mean? Gen Z is just so fucking... Gen Z is so, confused on what they actually want, I feel like, with the race relations and what they actually know. They don't know, all the ins and outs that are coming with this race shit. They only know what the mainstream tells them, and it's sad because the mainstream will just try to divide you against each other. That's why I don't think this shit's real, because I'm first of all, where's the scientific evidence that this race shit isn't just people from different parts of the climate? If that's really all it is, then there is no race. That's just socially engineered. You're still a fucking human. You're no different. Besides the color of your skin, you are literally no different than the motherfucker who is right next to you if he's a different skin color. You were made of the same organs and all that shit. So then why do you even promote this race shit? Oh, well, because it can divide people, duh. But again, that's a video. This is a video for a completely different time. But Gen Z, I'm tired of Gen Z just caring about all this race shit. Yet they don't even do anything. Most of these kids are just posting, and I say kids, but it's college people my age, are just posting on Facebook and shit, Black Lives Matter, and stuff like that. And it's you know what? That doesn't do shit, though. All right? You want actual change, you gotta go out there and do it. I don't mean protesting, because politics is fucking worthless, and only a dumbass is gonna care about politics, all right? Only a fucking retard only a little mainstream, little pussy-ass social media bitch is gonna sit there and pay attention to politics. So, aka 95% of the U.S. But, but there's that 5% like me out there that know that politics is fucking worthless. Protesting, essentially, is like the rabbit protesting the tiger. It doesn't really make a difference at the end of the day. No matter how much you think your voice is heard. If anything, social media is probably the worst place to try to promote change, because, if anything, it's just going to inspire more people to create the opposition. So, there's that. If you try to do change over social media, you're just going to give your opposition a platform as well to fight tooth and nail to make sure your change can never be pushed. So if everybody really is racist and stuff like that, well, then here's the deal. You can't be on social media trying to say that this is the one way, because there will be somebody who says no, and then they'll gather a following. I was trying to say garner and gather, so I was like garther. But anyway, they'll gather a following and they'll start doing dumb shit. So let's move on to the next topic. branding. Gen Z is so much about branding that it's, you know, it ties in almost to the pussification thing. But branding is so bad in this generation, I feel like, more than it ever has been with the past generations because of technology, I feel like. So you see this debate between the Xbox and PlayStation, the iPhone or Android, the fucking moon or the sun. I don't know, like, who gives a fuck about all these brands? All right, first of all, brands nowadays are just meant to signify how rich someone almost is or how much cooler they are than everybody else. I don't even know. Like, to be honest, I don't know. I don't get branding at all in a sense because it feels like it's dumb. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense to care about what brand I'm getting. Because at the end of the day, I'm a minimalist. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean that in the sense, I get the bare essentials. No, I still get things that I like, but getting things that I like means I just get what I like. If I want a new phone, I'm not really going to be concerned if it's an Apple or an Android. I'll just get whatever phone I like and seems cool to me at the time. If I'm going to get the new consoles, which I won't, because Gen Z ruined video games, but I will not get a PS5 or Xbox Series X because gaming is dead. Gaming sucks nowadays. Gaming is trash because of Gen Z. Gen Z fucked over gaming so bad with the casuals infesting gaming and making all these mobile games like Among Us and all this shit so fucking popular, Fortnite and all that. Just don't even get me started. I will do a death of video gaming video. That's probably going to be the next video, is the death of video games, because Gen Z and the casuals have actually ruined video games forever. Like, I don't see it changing because the gaming industry makes too much money off these fucking casuals who want to play these terrible ass fucking games like Cyberpunk and fucking Call of Duty and fucking Fortnite and Among Us and just all these terrible ass fucking games that have come out over the past 7 years. God of War, fucking... Yeah, God of War fucking sucks. That shit. I don't want to play no fucking cinematic movie, alright? I want to play an actual fucking video game. Sony, you guys aren't high art storytellers, so I would play a cinematic movie that lets me control, like, a playable movie. But Sony, you guys aren't fucking high art storytellers, so if anything, I find this constant interruption of this kid in God of War, always, every 2 steps I walk, there's a fucking cutscene. And that's another thing, because of these casuals, gaming has become magnificently easier to the point where it's mind-numbingly stupid. It's just meant to basically put a casual in front of the screen and mind-numb them for at least however long until they go back to masturbating or looking at their cell phone or trying to score their date with the next girl or going out partying or doing some other mind-numbing dopamine experience. Whereas video games, at least when I was a kid, had some sort of challenge. I mean, hell, look at Pokemon back in the day. Pokemon was actually way more challenging. I just played Sword and Shield, and I blew right through it. And I'm not saying Pokemon was ever really fucking hard. Like, if you knew the type matchups and shit, you could kind of exploit the game. It wasn't ever really a hard game. But there's a clear difference when you see, like, the 8th gym leader doesn't even have 4 moves. The Elite Four are gym leaders that you've already beaten. So, wow, look at that. How challenging is that? I'm up against a water type, you know what I mean? I remember going through Sword and Shield's main story and being like, wow, I'm up against the water type gym leader for a second time. Oh, I bet you her team will be in like the 50s or 60s, but guess what? My team is so much stronger by now, and I already creamed her then. I'm obviously going to absolutely wreck her team now. Like, I've already destroyed her. And it's like, I don't even want to get into Pokemon. I used to love Pokemon, but I'm done with that too. I'm just done with gaming. I think Gen Z ruined gaming, but we should go back to the original topic. I'm glad I squeezed that in there, though, on how the casuals of Gen Z ruined video games. Fallout is another thing. Fallout was ruined by Gen Z. I really believe that. GTA has been ruined by Gen Z because Gen Z is just constantly wanting to spend money on this fucking GTA 5 updates all the time. So, you know, we're never going to see a GTA 6. It's just never going to happen. I don't believe anybody. Until I see it, I don't believe it. It's not going to happen. I don't think it will ever happen. I promise you, I don't think it will happen. But you can believe if you want to. But I know for a fact we will never see a GTA 6. I almost know that for a fact. I would be willing to bet $20 that GTA 6 is not going to happen. Like, not in our lifetimes. Not as long as people keep paying for GTA 5. And people and Gen Z's filthy casual nature will pay for GTA 5 because wow, GTA 5, oh, it's the best game of all time when it's really not. It's a good game, but it is not the best game of all time. Not even fucking close. But and someone's gonna be like, well, the sales numbers. Here's the deal about Gen Z that you need to know. Anything trendy, they will do. So, look at Fortnite. That game is shit. Fortnite has always been shit. Fortnite sucks. Fortnite fucking sucks, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That game is trash. Casual trash. Still is one of the most popular games of all time. You know what I mean? You can be a bad game, but see, Gen Z is all about trendiness. Anyway, back to the brand thing. Brands have become also trendy. There's a pattern here. Everybody gets the iPhone nowadays because you have to look the part. And it's like, you see, no, fuck the iPhone. iPhone sucks, all right? I'm gonna break some hearts here. iPhone isn't even really that good. The camera sucks. You might think, well, no, it doesn't. Well, kind of does. Because, you see, iPhone is only good in one mode. Portrait mode. Hell, I don't even know if you can change the mode on most of the phones up until recently. Hell, up until recently, you couldn't even put on a phone with a video in it. Up until recently. So it's like, I think only the last 3 generations have started doing that. Where you could have a video while you're on the phone. Like, come on now. iPhone is not that fucking awesome. Plus, the actual tech that you're getting is trash. Like, it's trash. And it's people go like, well, I want the camera so I can take good photos. Then get a fucking camera, you fucking dumbass. But all right, waste your money on a dumbass phone that is only good in portrait mode for the camera. Like, I don't understand people, I guess. I guess that's how I should put it. I don't understand the thought process that happens anymore through people's heads. They just go like, oh, well, I want this. And it's like, no, you just want it because everybody else has it, and you want to be cool. And Apple just sucks. In my honest opinion, Apple just sucks. They're a scumbag-ass company. Hell, they literally removed the headphone jack for no reason. For no fucking reason. Well, they say, this tech and da-da-da. No fucking reason. They just want to make a cheaper phone to give you. They don't give a fuck about, you might think, well, no, they had to do it because of the tech and, no, they didn't have to do shit. They just want to cut corners to make a cheaper phone that has a barely quality camera, but because you guys are casual little fucking dumbasses, you'll go out and buy it anyways. And you'll eat it up, and you'll wait for the next year to get the next big iPhone, and it's like, why? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old school and I just don't understand it, but I don't understand it. And I'm not even old school, but for me, I don't care what type of brand of phone I have. I just need a phone for purposes of like work or uploading YouTube videos sometimes when I don't have my camera. So it's kind of easier to do that. And I guess keeping in touch with people, but I don't need social media for that because you see, here's the deal. Social media is not about keeping in touch with people anymore. It's about fucking, again, clout and all that shit. Hence why people, like, if it was about keeping in touch with people, you would only be friends or follow the people that you actually know. Like, you wouldn't follow all of you. Like, for me, here's my thing. When I did have social media, I didn't follow everybody I knew from high school. Even though I got it at the end of high school year, senior year, that's when I started using social media, was senior year. You would think I should follow my fellow classmates who I'm about to say goodbye to. No, because I don't know all those people. So I didn't bother because I don't want to stay in touch with all those people. There's no point. There's no actual fucking friendship there. I'm not going to fucking follow them and go like, wow, so-and-so is doing this. Because I don't want to There's no reason to have all this oversharing going on and everybody needs to know what you're doing and all that. Like, that's so narcissistic and stupid. So that's just where I drew the line there. But at the same time, I'm witnessing people just defend that excuse by going like, well, no, social media is used to connect with people. No, it's not. You know what social media does, essentially? Nothing, because a phone number can do all those things and more, actually. But hey, that's just me. However, I have noticed a shift in the branding wars. I've noticed that there is more rise to people just realizing, just get a fucking phone or just get a good video game console that you actually like. Get whatever you want. Listen to whatever music you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to now listen to the best, what society deems as, this is the best rapper ever. Young Thug. Fuck Young Thug. He ain't shit. Young Thug is a pussy-ass little nigga. And I can say that because, according to Gen Z, I can say it because I'm black. And Young Thug ain't shit. And if you like Young Thug, you ain't shit either. Because Young Thug be rapping about how he really about it or how he gonna help the black community and this and that. Young Thug don't do shit. He don't give back shit. And I'm not even saying he has to. I'm not saying anybody has to do that as a celebrity, but he goes there and says that he's going to do all these things that, you fucking young kids eat up all the time. And someone says, I'm going to help out the minorities and blah, blah. I don't get it. I don't get why everybody eats that shit up, but whatever. That's the next thing. Let's get into that. I'm glad I actually mentioned Young Thug and branding and music and all that, because the over fucking just hyping up of these celebrities nowadays, when none of these motherfuckers are even good in the first place. Ariana Grande, trash, yet everybody hypes up all of her music, and I'm like, she's fucking trash. Like, she's literally trash. She has a good voice, I will give her that. But Ariana Grande is trash in every other department. Her lyrics are blah. Sorry. It's just the fucking truth. It's all blah. She has a good voice. I will give her that. That's not something you can just produce. But everything else about her was just pretty blah. It's pretty boring. She's just pretty Barbie girl number 55,000 that we've seen in the music industry. Sorry. And she's not even really that fucking attractive. Like, she's attractive. Obviously, I'm not stupid enough to say no to that, but it's like, she's not the most attractive girl we have ever seen out of the music industry, you know what I mean? And it's like, she's just and she's very, I'm not going to chastise her on her looks, because God knows I'm not the best looking person on earth. She could probably get 20 million more dates than I could in just one single minute. So, but I think she's a very bland artist. Like, there's just nothing to her. She's just so bland. And that's another thing about Gen Z. It's hollow and bland because everybody's trying to do the same thing. So there you go. Feels oversaturated and bland because you've seen it all before. Megan Thee Stallion, blast. She sucks. She's trash. Nicki Minaj, trash. Cardi B, trash. There's almost no. Billie Eilish is trash. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That shit's trash. There's almost no good female artists. And then I hop into the male side of things. Justin Bieber, get out of here. Like, Justin Bieber, has Justin Bieber ever been relevant since fucking 2015? You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate Justin Bieber. I actually like a little. It's like Ariana Grande, where it's like they have potential, but it's because they sing about the same thing all the fucking time, love songs and stupid dumb shit. Blah, 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 bubblegum, poppy bullshit that nobody gives a fuck about anymore because you've seen it over and over and over and over. Well, people do give a fuck about it because they eat it up. But people like me that are starting to catch on, there's just nothing new happening in the music industry, are like, fuck this shit. I would rather listen to the oldies every single day than this shit, because it's the same shit over and over and over again. There's no originality. Justin Bieber's Pretty Boy number 50,000 that we've seen, he actually, people say he was the original Pretty Boy. No, he wasn't. No, he fucking wasn't. There were plenty of little pretty boys before him, boy bands and all that kind of shit. He was probably the most successful standalone pretty boy. Give him that. And he still is, but, he's not the first one, and he definitely won't be the last. I guarantee you, In the next probably 10 years, when Justin Bieber's like 30 years old, there'll be another 10-year-old little guy running around going, baby, baby, and just everybody goes, oh, he's so cute. And, just, I already see it coming. The cycle will repeat itself when Justin Bieber is not looking super attractive anymore. The cycle will repeat itself then. Drake, next. Fuck Drake. Drake is trash. Drake is the ultimate disgrace to all music, in my opinion. Because Drake cannot do anything. Drake is not a rapper. People think he's a rapper. And he even made a song recently called Pop Star. Like, where he thinks that, like, he's a rapper, but he's going to try to be a pop star. Jake, you were never a rapper. You already are a pop star. You don't got to pretend. You ain't shit. Like, Drake, listen to me, buddy. You just ain't shit. You were never shit, Drake. The only people that hype up Drake songs are, again, mainstream casuals. Sadly, that's 95% of the generation. That's 95. Like, it's 95% of the generation and the population. But Generation Z, oh God, you know what I mean? When I listen to rap nowadays, it's cringy because it's like I'm 21 years old. I'm not trying to be listening to fucking sex, money, drugs every day. That's some high school shit. That really is. And the older I get, the more I'm just not into it because it's like it feels like it's for kids. Like it's the ultimate kid fantasy. Like a party every fucking... It's the ultimate teenage fantasy music. Party every fucking day. And it's like as I get older though and grow out of those teenage phases, I start to be like, turn it to something else. This is bland. It's something I haven't heard before. But no, it's by this artist. He did this with... No, he didn't. He didn't do shit with it. It's the same fucking subject material. He just sounds different. You know what I mean? His voice is different. That'd be the same thing if I sang there. If I was rapping, it'd be the same thing. Just my voice would sound different. And nowadays, you don't even have to have a good voice to rap. You can just literally rap because auto-tune. And so, there's that. But Drake, get the fuck out of here. And I'm only mentioning the biggest stars because it's just the easiest way to go through this. And then I can break down the littler ones as I go with them. But, mumble rap was a thing. It's still kind of a thing, but I can't believe Gen Z let mumble rap become so big as it was. Gen Z is just a disgrace. Gen Z is a disgrace to the music industry. This generation, honestly, is a disgrace to the music industry. I had to have the more dramatic disgrace because, everything's got to be all hype and cool and poppy and imagery, right? So, but in all seriousness, no, Gen Z is the ultimate disgrace, in my opinion, to music because my generation, I feel like, has ruined what music could be. We just... Taylor Swift, I will give her this. She's one of the only artists that has ever proven, like in the modern day, that she can do different things. She doesn't always just have to sing about poppy fucking pop songs or like love songs or sex, money, drugs every day. Like she can actually change it up. She can go country. She can go country having fun kind of thing to like a party to like a fucking, love song. Like she can actually change it up. And I'll give her that. I mean, it's never been the greatest stuff I've ever heard, but she can change it up. And at least she can do that. And nowadays you even see her going with that more classical indie music vibe. So it's like she can actually change it up. Wow, someone with some fucking talent here. Like, wow. But sadly, because Taylor Swift is no longer appealing to the mainstream, I feel like she's not going to be as popular as she once was because she wants to try to change it up. But we know she won't be as popular as she once was if she does because the mainstream only wants party, sex, money, drugs, and poppy love songs. That's all they want. Which is very interesting because neither of those two subject matters relate to each other in any way, shape, or form. Well, you think the same generation that wants sex, money, drugs, hoes every day. I hate that too. The validation of fucking ratchet hoes. I'm tired of that shit. And you can call me a fucking misogynistic, or you can call me whatever the fuck you want. But as far as I'm concerned, why are we like hyping up ratchet hoes? Like it's fun, like it's funny, like it's cool. Like it's cool to be a ratchet hoe or a fucking druggie. Like why are we hyping that shit up? Like I don't get that. But that's just something this generation's been doing a lot. Like, and if you dare say, I actually don't think that people should be ratchet hoes. you're misogynistic. You hate women. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, I don't. But you can say I do. It won't change to the fact that I don't. But I don't even want to control girls. I don't care about what they actually do. It's just, I don't think we should be over-validating being a ratchet hoe and letting yourself just be a fucking, basically, someone's bitch. Like, I don't think we should be validating people to do that. I think, if anything, we should tell people you can do that. It just should not be what you should do. But, I mean, if you have to, go right ahead, I guess. Fuck it, I can't stop you. I don't want to stop you. I don't give a shit enough to try to stop you. But, you know, like, it's, I don't know. It's not something that I feel like we should be promoting. It's a toxic culture, really is. But, I don't know. You know, ratchet hoes, like, I don't understand it. What is so awesome about that shit that, like, our generation promotes that shit? Like, you see that with OnlyFans? Actually, I'm sorry, man, but I'm gonna have to roast some of y'all here. If you are on OnlyFans, get a fucking life. But, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to get a little real. I'm gonna have to break the fourth wall and get a little real here. You know, most of the time when I do these type of videos, it's kind of like playing a character. It's not like I'm actually playing a character. Like, these are some of my real thoughts. But at the same time, you know, not everything I say is meant to be taken legit seriously. So when I say, like, oh, you're fucking dumb or retarded or that, it's just more like as satire. That's not something you should legit take seriously. But what you should take seriously is get a fucking life if you're on OnlyFans. And I mean, as a dude, like, fine, if you're a girl and that's how you're making your money, I'm not going to stop you. Hell, I mean, there are people that sell fucking drugs and make their money, so I guess it's kind of all the same, right? You know what? You know, it ain't going to stop you, so, but the way I look at it is, I think that if you are a man and you are paying women to send you nude photos, which is something that's completely unique to this generation, or this iteration of humanity as a whole, that's a bit more metaphysical, so if you understand that, you're smart as fuck, but this iteration of humanity as a whole is very new to that, like, nudity online. But I'm just gonna be honest with you, you're a fucking loser. You are a fucking loser if you sit there and pay girls to send you nude photos. You're a fucking loser and you should stop right now. Like, I would love to be more compassionate. I always say to be compassionate and understanding, but nah, with these type of people, you need to show them some tough love. You need to tell them to man up. This is one of those things where it's like, we're not talking to 5-year-old girls here. We're talking to grown-ass men who have jobs, who get up in the morning, brush their teeth, take showers, and all this shit, but are sitting here literally sending women like $70 to get a nude photo of them. We need to just go online and find that shit for free, if that's what you really have to do. Or, you know what, there's this thing called actually going out there and meeting girls. It's not as tough as it sounds, I promise you that. Especially nowadays. Fucking girls validate being ratchet hoes, quite literally. So, I mean, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being dead ass with you. This is not something that you should be doing. If you are a man, you really should not be doing this shit. If you are, I can't stop you, and I'm not going to stop you, nor do I even care enough to try to do it. But I am going to tell you, you're a fucking loser. Like, if you're on OnlyFans, paying money to women for just some photos or some nudity on a video, you're a fucking loser. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You probably hear about it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I'll say it again. You're a fucking loser. And you need to get off your ass, and you need to stop playing around and wasting your money. Because it ain't worth it, man. And I guess it's simps, the quote-unquote simps doing it, you know what I mean? And they justify it by going like, well, I'm just giving people money at the end of the day, and I'm getting something for it. Nah, dude, we all know why, because you're a sad, pathetic loser. Ain't you know what I mean? Like, here's the big deal. If anybody was getting, like, something from it, it's the person getting the money, not you. You're not getting shit. all you're doing is just sitting at a screen all day giving someone money and then masturbating and then thinking that, like, but then dreaming how you're going to be this Chad one day or something. Like, just please get a life, man. All right, anyway, back to the actual video. The stuff like OnlyFans and all that, but branding stupid celebrities, and you even see this with I know this is a blast for the past for some of you, but the whole Catch Me Outside girl, like, come on now, how did that girl ever get famous? Why? That's probably not even how she acts in real life. I'd almost guarantee it. Like, Dr. Phil is probably fake. I'm not even gonna, I hate to break hearts here, but he probably is fake. Like, I don't know that for a fact, but I've always assumed that. Like, because everything's, like, too dramatic. You know what I mean? Everything's, like, way too dramatic for it to actually be real. Like, you remember when pranking videos were a thing? Remember that? Remember when pranking videos were a thing? 2014 through 16. I never believed any of those pranks because, like, they're all too dramatic to be real. But everyone's like, oh, they're real. And it's like, I'm sorry, man, but there's no way that can be real. Like, that's just too dramatic. Like, that's just too dramatic for it to be a real-life situation. And to capture that all on camera, too, yeah, no. Although, nowadays, if pranking videos were a thing nowadays, I'd have a hard time distinguish if they're real or not, because, fuck, reality is dramatic at this point. But I'm sitting here just wondering, if we're going to be promoting these stupid celebrities, are we going to promote, like, who's next? You know what I mean? Like, we already are, essentially, had a reality TV star as the president, you know what I mean? So it's like, I guess that kind of encapsulates everything about Gen Z. Even though Gen Z is not the demographic for Donald Trump, it's just the fact that it happened. I guess you could say that that's kind of, part of the reality of Gen Z is, like, that's the type of shit that I guess that kind of all makes sense, because that's the type of shit we had as our leaders. We had reality TV stars as our leaders, so of course, as our celebrities, we basically get these ratchet hoes, impossibly dramatic people, or these young thug type people, like, yeah, like, you know, people that ain't real, essentially. You know what I mean? Call themselves real, but they're not real at all, and that's probably not how they act. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's... But that's kind of all my thoughts on the generation as a whole. I don't really hate much other than that. I think Gen Z is actually... I think it's one of the worst generations, but at the same time, I think every generation sucks. I think we all suck. I think everybody sucks. But at the end of the day, I feel like Gen Z has the most gripes, because I'm living in the generation, so I'm witnessing all the dumb shit every day. And all these topics that I brought up in this video, I will probably do their own individual videos for them in a much smaller segment. I kind of want to do, like, my next series on all the social media websites, like the big ones anyway, like the Instagrams, the Twitters, the Snapchats, the Facebooks, or your Insta chats and your Facegrams and your Twitter talks and your, you know, all your, whatever the kids use these days. You know, we're gonna pretty much, I want to make a 1x1 series video with those, ranting on those, telling you why I think they suck. Because to be honest with you, I want to destroy Gen Z. Like, I want to show what we stand for is not what the majority of us stand for, at least. Because there's no way. I don't think so. I don't think the majority of us actually believe the half the shit that is actually being promoted to us. But those are some of my problems with Gen Z. You know, starting with the PC, political correctness, that has been happening over the past 20 years. The fucking bad parenting that Gen Z basically promotes, because parents don't do their job anymore, so you got all these wild hooligans running around. The fucking horrible-ass pussification that is, I guess, can go right alongside PC, but I don't view that as the same thing. I view pussification as, like, no one can take a joke, no one can do this. everybody has to care about, like, every race is the greatest thing on earth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I view the over pussification as. Whereas I see political correctness as like, oh, you can't say this on YouTube. You know what I mean? Otherwise, your video gets taken down. Or how dare you say that bad thing about Donald Trump or Joe Biden, or you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, that's what I view political correctness, because it's literally politics being shoved in your face, in your reality, which politics is, I guess, part of reality. But you know what I mean? Like, it's being shoved in places where it doesn't need to be shoved in. Like in video games, why are video games having to be so PC? Because parents don't want their children playing something that might be possibly violent. Yet they'll go let them watch a fucking movie where cities are being destroyed, bombs are blasting everywhere, superheroes are punching bad guys and destroying innocent lives and doing crazy shit and blah blah blah. But you know, don't play a video game. You get the picture. And I hate the whole Gen Z with social media thing. I think it's all cringe and gay. Yeah, I said gay. I think brands are just becoming out of control lately. It's about if you don't have this certain brand, don't wear these certain clothes, these certain shoes, you're just not cool. You don't fit in. You don't look the part. And yeah, that's kind of it. And the overzealous of all these celebrities that people have. Like, people just worship these people like they walk on water and shit. But it's kind of my only problems with Gen Z. Otherwise, and you could say that this is problems with every generation, but I think it's more so here because of the internet. You're able to see it a lot more. But otherwise, I think all in all, Gen Z is a interesting generation. I think every generation sucks, but I think we are at least in the top percentage of, at least we're not as dumb as all the other, I mean, we're just as dumb, but I think there's potential, I guess. I guess Gen Z at least somewhat uses its potential. Anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow with my next video, and peace out.